Top5rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Today we got Rico Nasty and Kenny Beats Anger Management. This anger management project right here, I feel like from the production to the artwork, it really matches Rico Nasty's persona. The persona that she's giving off and where she stands amongst her peers. Because even though we don't want to compare Rico to other women in rap, there are a lot of new women in rap. And a lot of them sound similar and a lot of them have similar topics. But Rico Nasty doesn't really fit with that generalization. So here on Anger Management, she has production by Kenny Beats, and Harry Fraud is also on the joint. He's on Relative. Production is just out of this world. Anger Management really starts off real abrasive, real punkish. There's a punk rock feel to it, and it's real fun. And I really like that pocket for Rico Nasty because I feel like she plays it so well. It doesn't even feel like she's acting or she's trying to be something she's not. That feels very natural to her. And I'm speaking about songs like Cold, Cheat Code featuring Bauer, Hatin' is a dope joint, which of course samples Dirt Off Your Shoulder by Jay-Z, which was produced by Timbaland. And she flips that track. There's not much change in production, but Rico Nasty adds her own splash to it. Lyrically, you know, and I like the song. And I like both songs. I like Dirt Off Your Shoulders, and I like this Rico Nasty Hatin' version. Big Titties is a dope joint. Anger Management seems to shift in mood after the Nasty World skit. So after that Nasty World skit, it goes into the song Relative, which features Harry Fraud. Now, if you know Harry Fraud, he typically has more chill, laid-back production. This song isn't that laid back compared to songs like Bird on the Wire and 97 Turbo Jet by Currency, etc., etc. But it's still not as abrasive as the intro or Cheat Code or the first half of the project. So Anger Management, short 9-track project, 8 songs. One of the songs is a skit. So after the Nasty World skit, we get a more laid back production. Rico Nasty still seems pretty hyper, but she's not as much on the punk feel, which is okay. So after Nasty World, we go into Relative, produced by Harry Fraud, and then we go into Mood featuring Splurge. Now, this is one of my only gripes with the project. I feel like Mood should have been left off of the album. It doesn't really do anything for the album. It stands out like a sore thumb, and it's very noticeably the weakest track on the whole project. So that kind of breaks a stretch of great songs. I feel like from the beginning all the way until this song Mood, we had a run of dope songs, and then Mood kind of just, it just didn't fit on the project for me. Sellout was a really good song. I liked Sellout. I think it's the best song on this entire project. Now early on the project, Rico, she's on her braggadocious tip. So she spits some bars that is kind of shitting on the average person. On Hatin', she says, your life sucks because you're not focused. She says, 20K a show, that's your salary. Things like that. And these are things that rappers typically do. But I've always been of the ilk, like, it's not really advantageous to shit on your audience. Because most people listening don't have it like that. Most people listening are humble fans. They're scraping the last bit of their paycheck to go see your show, so it's not really advantageous to shit on them in that way. But to Rico Nasty credit, on Sellout, she goes in and she talks about her struggle and how hard it was for her to come up. And then she does it again on the outro, which is titled Again. So she provides that balance, which I think is very important. And it's the same criticism that I have of drug dealer rappers, you know, who just talk about the drugs and glorify the drugs, but don't talk about, you know, the other side of drugs, you know, the fallouts, the deaths, you know, the hard nights, the withdrawals. If you can rap about both, it feels much more authentic and it's easier, it's more palatable. So I like that Rico, even though she shits on, you know, she flaunts her money, shits on you a bit, she goes in later on the project and she talks about her struggles, which is great. I'm interested to see how Rico Nasty grows as a lyricist. On Relative, she deploys a real simplistic rhyme scheme. And what I mean by simplistic, it's it's just rhyming the last word in the bar and doing that over and over and over. It's very simplistic. And the opposite of that will be multi-syllabic rhyme scheme, internal rhyme schemes, where you're rhyming the first and the last here, last word of a bar here. You're rhyming the middle word in the bar with the end of the bar. It makes the verse sound a lot different, whereas you're just going down the line and you're doing, A, B, B, B. Dom Kennedy does this a lot, and Rico Nasty does it here on this project, but it's not really noticeable until the second half of the project, after you get past the more abrasive, louder production, such as what you see on Cold and on Cheat Code, where she's more of a rock star punk rocker. So she deploys a pretty simplistic rhyme scheme, and I think the only reason it sticks out so much is because on the very next song, Mood, that song, lyrically isn't really doing much for me or anyone else. And she has some pretty simplistic similes and metaphors. So she'll say things like, I got them stuck like some glue. I got that honey like Winnie the Pooh. It just doesn't do much for me, personally. Maybe you think that's, dope or funny. To me, it's just real simplistic. So I'm interested to see how she grows as a lyricist. And lastly, the outro. I like the outro. I like the song Sell Out. Those are two of my favorite songs. I like Hatin', and I like the first two punk rock joints too. The only songs I really don't like is Mood, and Relative is alright, but lyrically there's not enough there for me. There's not enough meat there for me. And the punchlines just aren't all that good for my taste. The last track, Again, I like how she ended it. She could have ended it with Again or with the song Sell Out. Again sounds a bit like Cody Shane to me. Let me know if you feel the same way. Two dope artists. If you haven't heard Young Heartthrob by Cody Shane, definitely go listen to that. If you like this song Again, you'll probably like a lot of Cody Shane stuff. So yeah, Rico Nasty, it's a dope project. Kenny Beats, you did your thing on the production, man. Keep going, keep working with these artists. EARTHGANG was really dope. Oh yeah, and that's actually why the lyrics on Relative stood out so much to me. Because you don't notice the simplistic rhyme scheme that Rico has until you hear EARTHGANG on the song Big Titties. When you hear them come on and you hear how they're freaking, and EARTHGANG, Jid, all those people, they're no joke on the mic. So you have them come on that song, and they come in first before Rico does. And then the next song immediately after that, after the skit, is Relative. So it stands out more. And then Mood comes in, which is really not lyrically inclined at all. And that does, that makes it stand out even more. So, just a couple criticisms. Overall, I think this is a good project. If I were to rate it, I'll give it 3.5 stars. This is very good, very dope. I'd recommend this to folks. I'm really interested to see what Rico and Kenny Beats can do over a full-length project. But this anger management project right here is going to feed a lot of people. And I like what Rico's doing. She's different. You don't hear her rapping about, over-sexualizing herself, which would be okay if she did, But there are so many other women in rap that are doing that right now. She's really carving out her own lane. And she has her producer, Kenny Beats. They work well together. So yeah, shout out to Rico Nasty, shout out to Kenny Beats, top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.